previous class. Okay, here can you see the white screen web page?
Yes, sir.
So here this is one C++ function definition of factorial tail recursion. You know factorial recursive way of calling factorial. You know this is a recursive way of just concentrate on the function definition. Okay, just concentrate on the function definition here. Fact unsigned int n. Okay, inside this function body, if n equal to 0, return 1. This is the base case. Okay, and if this condition is not satisfied, then return equal to n into fact n minus 1. So what is the definition of tail recursion? Is that the tail recursion function is a recursive function where no pending operation will be present. Here pending operation present. In this definition, it is not tail recursive definition. Here fact n is calling fact n minus 1. So when fact n minus 1 will be done, after that n into fact n minus 1, this one multiplication operation that will happen at the last. Okay, that will happen at the last, and this operation is called the pending operation. But just see the definition given below. This definition of factorial n fact tr. Here just see the function prototype, function and parameter list. Okay, unsigned int comma n, unsigned int a. Okay, now initially when you will call this function, you are calling this function from here. Okay, unsigned int fact is calling fact is a function which is calling factier. Factier means factorial for, defined using tail recursion. Here n comma 1. So 1 will be accepted in the function definition in the parameter a. Okay, now n into a is calculated inside the function. N into a is calculated inside the function definition, and then n minus 1. Again, it will be called. Second time when it will be called, then n into n minus 1 will be there. Okay, n into n minus 1 will be there. Then n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 will be there inside the function definition parameter list. In this way, at the last call of the factier, there will be no pending multiplication operation. Okay, in the previous definition, at the last call, when factorial n minus will be executed, then one pending operation will remain. That pending operation will be n into fact n minus 1. Okay, so this definition is not tail recursive definition, but the definition given below is the tail recursive definition, because at the end there will be no pending operation, no multiplication operation. Is this okay for you? Hello? Are you understanding the concept? Oritro? Hello? Anyone please response? Soham Das, Sagar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is this concept is clear?
স্যার আমি স্যার সবে জয়েন করলাম, আমি স্যার দেখতে পাইনি আগের গুলো।
হ্যাঁ, ফাইজান?
আমি স্যার এক্ষুনি সবে জয়েন করলাম।
ফাইজান কে বলছি, ফাইজান? সোহম?
Yes.
I am going to tell you the definition factorial n. Okay, the factorial n is calling n into factorial n minus 1. Okay, so I am going to tell you the definition of tail recursion. The definition of tail recursion, there will be no pending operation at the last call of the recursion. Okay, at the last call of the recursion, there will be no pending operation. In the first definition of factorial, just see the definition of the function. Okay, see the definition of the function. Factorial n is calling n into factorial n minus 1. So when factorial n minus will be executed, will be done, then the final operation is n into factorial n minus 1. This n into factorial n minus 1, this is the pending operation. But the tail recursion definition is saying there will be no pending operation at the end. Okay, so the definition given below, just concentrate on the definition here. Fact is calling fact tier where two parameter n comma 1. Now 1 is accepted in the function definition in the parameter a. Okay, and n is copied to the unsigned int n. Now in the function body, when n equal to 0 0, n equal to 0, then return a. That means this is the base case. And then if this case is not satisfied, then return fact tier n1 minus 1 comma n into a. So here at the final calling, there is no multiplication operation just like the previous definition. So this is the concept of the tail recursion. Now is this okay? Now
Yes,
is this okay? Okay, you should remember this concept. Now I will switch to the another concept. Just now, can you see this slide? Adobe Acrobat Reader.
yes sir. Slide
Yeah.
দেখা যাচ্ছে না স্যার।
Now,
Yes
হ্যাঁ
sir.
স্যার দেখা যাচ্ছে।
what topic I am presenting?
What is a queue?
What
Queue,
is a
queue.
queue?
Stack. Okay, the stack, the concept of the stack mathematically, programmatically, how you will implement the stack. And then I have shown you the application of the stack. Okay, I have shown you the implementation of the stack using array and using linked list. Today I am going to present you a different new topic that is called the queue. And all you are familiar with the concept of queue. Okay, a queue means many persons are in the customer are in front of some bank ATM or something like this. So this is called the first in first out method. Okay, person who will be standing first in the queue will getting service the first. Okay, person which is coming last will be in the last in the queue. Okay, so there are two parameters in the queue. One is called the front end. Another call is rear. Okay, these two parameters in the definition of the stack, there was the one parameter that was the top. Okay, every time new element was entered in the stack in the top, and new elements were removed from the top of the stack. Okay, but in case of queue, there are two ends of the queue in the array. If you implement using array or in linked list, there are two parameters. One is called the front, another called is rear. When every time when new element will be inserted, that new element will be inserted in the rear. Okay, and when element will be deleted or element will be removed, that will be from the front end. Okay, so that is why it is called the first in first out method. Okay, first in first out method. Here one array is showing. Okay, item one array front and rear is shown. Every time A, B, C, D, A was added first, then B, then C, then D. A new element when will be added, then it will be added after D. When element will be removed, then element will be removed from the front end. Okay, so what are the various operations you can perform on the queue? Okay, you can create an empty queue. Okay, so one function, you have to initialize the queue. For that, make empty queue is one function, and nq means adding element in the queue. Dq means deleting element from the queue. Another function you can write it down, that is full. You can check whether queue is full or queue is not full, and queue is empty, then another function, and you can traverse from front to rear all the element in the queue. Okay, here the diagrammatically we have shown the initialization here in this slide. Front equal to 0, rear equal to -1. This is the initialization for this example. But when we will see the C implementation, there you will see different initialization. Rear and front both will be -1. You can initialize it accordingly. You have to take some steps to modify the front and rear value when at least one element will be added. Okay, here initialized front is initialized to 0 and rear is initialized -1. Now you are going to add insertion of data into queue. When you are inserting the first element in the queue, then rear is first. You have to update the rear. Every time when you add new element in the queue, you will increment rear by 1. Then rear, when incremented by 1, then you will be indicated that there is a place ready for you to insert the new element, and then you will insert the new element there. Okay, you will insert the new element there. Then when first element is inserted, then rear equal to 0. Then second element is inserted, rear is 1. Okay, then third element is inserted, rear is 2. Then fourth element 8 is inserted, then rear is 3. Okay, in this way you can update the value of rear and then add new element every time. And when you delete the element from the queue, okay, you will start from the front equal to 0, delete that element, and then front equal to second delete. Okay, 5 will be deleted, front equal to 1. In this way you can. So here front and rear both are incremented. Okay, front and rear both are incremented. Okay, is this diagrammatically, is it clear? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now I will show you the program actually. At the end, I will show you the C implementation. No problem. The application of the queue. The queue is very useful in the various field of the computer science. Application of the queue listed below. The access to the shared resource in computer system, there may be a queue of tasks waiting for the printer for access of disk storage, or for even in the time sharing system for the use of CPU. When you read the operating system, you will see there is a process in operating system. A program when program is in the process of execution. When a program is a nothing but a line of codes, few line of codes. When program will be executed, not only code is enough, their program needs some resource. Program needs some resource utilization and some internal parameter. Okay, there are some data structure, various counter, program counter. There are many things will be needed beside the code of the program, beside the line of the program. Many things will be needed. So all together, when program is in execution, at the moment of execution, program become process. So that process, when process is executed, the application of queue is happen there. Okay, actually application of queue, job different. If you assign different job to the computer, that job will be in the ready queue. Okay, job will be in the ready queue. From one ready state, there will be some execution state. If any interrupt happen, then it will be stored in a waiting queue. So there will be different queue for facilitating the process execution. So application of queue is there. If you print multiple documents in a network, LAN network, different computer connected with a centralized printer, and all the requests will be stored in a queue, and printing will be done as per first in, first out basis. Okay, so this is the application of the queue. And task scheduling has which task will be assigned to a particular resource. Okay, if there is only one single resource, but the resource for the resource utilization, multiple users have requested the utilization for that resource, so that request will be stored in a queue. Okay, so this is the application of the queue. Now queue as a ADT, abstract data type of the queue, means what are the various operations you can perform on the queue. Okay, that is written here, just I have told you. Now implementation of the queue, you can implement queue using array. Okay, that is called a static implementation. You can implement queue using dynamic, using linked list. That is the dynamic implementation of the queue. Okay, so in case of array-based implementation, okay, array-based, it is implemented a queue using a one-dimensional array to store the data. Two integer variable that I told you, that is front and rear, will be used to maintain to end. And okay, so for the linear implementation of the array, first of all, just like the stack structure definition, here the similar kind of structure variable structure variable has defined max 10, mane your queue size is 10, and struct queue, this is C syntax. Okay, inside it, one array to hold placeholder of the elements, and int rear and int front are indicating to end. Okay, and then struct queue and struct queue small q comma semicolon, that is variable is declared. Okay, now you can initialize the front and rear equal to 0, front equal to 0 and rear equal to -1. Okay, in different implementation I will show you front equal to -1 and rear equal to -1. Here create empty queue or make empty queue just in the previous function here, and the same, this is a make empty queue or create empty queue, the same thing. Create empty queue is the same function. You are initializing the rear and front component variable of the structure queue variable. Okay, now you have to check whether queue is empty or not, because if you want to delete an element and queue is empty, you cannot delete because queue is empty. Okay, in that case, for checking whether queue is empty or not, okay, if rear is less than front, because your deleting end is from the front. Okay, so if the rear variable is less than equal to front, that's mean queue is empty. Okay, when at least one element will be added, then when initially front equal to 0, rear equal to -1. When at least one element will be added, then real will be 0. Okay, so in that case, q arrow rear less than q arrow front will not be satisfied. Okay, that means q is not empty. When at least one element will be added, then the condition in the if block is empty function, in the is empty function will not be satisfied. That means q is not empty. When there will be no element, that means rear equal to -1 and front equal to 0, then if block will be executed and you will get the signal that queue is empty. Is full to check when you insert the new element, you have to check whether it is full or not. So since it is a array based implementation,
লোক ওয়েট করছে।
yeah, since it is a array based implementation, okay, you are adding at the, when adding means you are adding at the rear using rear, you are adding using rear. Okay, so after adding multiple element, one point of time you will reach to the maximum size of the array. So it is a C-based implementation. Maximum size max equal to 10. Okay, here max in C-based implementation it will be max -1. If q rear equal to max -1, that's mean all position has been assigned a new is consumed. Okay, and if return 1, the is full condition will be executed. So here the same thing is written in the form of that was that two definition is full as is empty was the function definition. Here the algorithmic form of the same thing. Okay, for checking insert operation, for when you want to insert, you have to check whether rear equal to max size -1, then queue is overflow. Otherwise, every time when you insert, you have to update the rear variable first. Okay, then you will assign the item there. Okay, now here compactly insert function is written. Compactly insert function is written. Insert function calling is full function. Is full function will give you the signal whether queue is full or not. Okay, if queue is full, you will exit. Otherwise, queue arrow rear ++ rear will be updated and you are assigning item there, new item there. Now delete operation initially will check rear less than equal to front. If rear less than equal to front, then queue is empty, you cannot delete. So that's when underflow condition is achieved. Otherwise, just take the element first in the item and then front equal to front +1. So here algorithm, here the compact definition of the delete function. Okay, is empty queue is checked, and then inside the else part, item is retrieved, and then front is updated. In case of insertion, rear is updated first. But in case of deletion, front will be updated after element taken in the variable. Okay. And if you want to display all the elements, when queue is empty, you cannot display. Okay, when queue is empty, you cannot display. So that particular condition should be included in the display function. Okay, and in the else part, you are starting from the front to the rear. Okay, to show the elements, Now, with this concept of the queue, what is the disadvantage of this implementation? Can you guess what is the disadvantage of this implementation? Anyone? Oritro? Oritro, are you online? Hello? No one is responding. Soham, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you guess what is the disadvantage of this implementation of the queue? Anyone, just feel free. Do not hesitate. Feel free. No problem. Just tell me what is the disadvantage of this kind of implementation. Abhishek, where is the Oritro?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the disadvantage of this implementation of the queue? Just tell me. If you do not know, just tell me. Just you do not know. The disadvantage of this kind of implementation is that when the whole queue is full, when queue is full, then you are deleting element one by one. The deletion will be done using the front end. Okay, so here two deletion has been shown. So that is why front is updated. Okay, after this two deletion, you are seeing this two position is empty. You are seeing, but programmatically you cannot enter new element because rear has reached to the maximum limit. Okay, is this clear? Rear has reached to the maximum limit, so you cannot enter the new element. Is this okay, or is this clear to you or not?
Yes, sir.
Rear has reached to the maximum element because adding new element happens through rear. Now, in this case, rear value of the rear is 6. So there is no element you cannot enter. But you are seeing that after the deleting two element from the font, two places are empty. You are seeing that. In spite of that, you are not able to insert the new item there. This is the disadvantage of this implementation. That is why concept of circular queue has come. That is why. Okay. Now circular queue will check if the particular one front end, if the rear end is consumed, then when rear reach to the max -1, then it will come back to the first location. Okay, it will check the first location is empty or not. When rear will reach to the max -1 in circular queue, it will point the 0 location of the queue. Okay. So here, modification of the delete operation. The modification, you have to check it, and you are deleting item. Every time when you delete item, if you delete from the 0th location, this particular disadvantage can be removed. Okay, and you every time when you delete, you are using front. So front is incremented, and you are seeing the empty space at the very first end, second position, third position. Okay, you are seeing all the position are empty. Despite that, you are not entering the new element in the queue. And to remove this disadvantage, one thing you can do, every time when you delete, one concept will be fixed. You will delete from the first location and you will left shift all the element present in the array. You will left shift. Okay, so if you perform the deletion from the 0th location and you will left shift every element every time, then this problem will be removed. Okay, another way you can remove this problem using the concept of circular queue. Okay, so now at this point we are starting with the circular queue. Okay, now circular queue will check when max rear equal to max minus 1, that it will check the first location when the first location is empty or not. Okay, now for that rear and front will be incremented by this modulo operator. Okay, rear equal to rear plus 1 modulo operator max is the size of the array, front equal to front plus 1, and it will lead you to the first location if you reach to the last location. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, so for this circular implementation, what is your you should initialize your front and rear variable. Okay, here you will initialize from max minus 1. Front and rear is initializing from max minus 1. Okay, here the same empty condition checking. When front and rear equal to max minus 1, it is empty. Okay, when it is full, then front equal to rear plus 1 modulo max. Meaning that you are just one way rotating, you are coming back to the rear. Okay, you just one step back, you are one step back of the rear. Okay, rear is added, and rear is coming one step back of the rear front. So that is why front is equal to rear plus 1. Okay, you are adding front and both front and rear equal to max minus 1. Now you have started you start insertion. Now inserting, and it is circularly from the, because it is a max minus 1 initialized. So first insertion will be at max minus 1, and then rear will be 0. Then new insertion. Then rear will be 2 for the another insertion. Rear will be 3, another insertion. Rear will be 4, another insertion. In this way, adding new element, rear is updated. One point of time, rear will be placed. Rear position will be just one step back of the front. So that is why condition is checking. Rear position is one step back of the front. So front equal to rear plus 1. If this condition is true, then circularly you have filled. Okay, circularly you have filled the queue. That is why useful condition is checking that queue front equal to queue rear plus 1 modulo max. And is empty condition means when front and rear both equal to max minus 1, then you have started from there. Okay, you have started from there, and that indicating the queue is empty. Circular queue is empty. Okay, and this thing is algorithmically written here. Okay, this delete is all algorithmically written here. When here only just you are using the modulo operator. Okay, for incrementing rear and front, that initialization is different from the previous initialization. In the previous initialization for normal single queue, okay, not non-circular queue, that was front equal to 0, rear equal to minus 1. Here front and rear both was max minus 1. That was initialized. And every time when you add the new element, you have to increment the rear first. So here incrementing rear first means rear will be updated to the 0th location first time, and you are adding element there. Okay, is this thing clear to you or not? if you have any hesitation, any problem, just tell me. I have no hurry. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
If it is not okay, then you can tell me. Okay, I will show you the actual implementation. C code I will show you. Okay, the same thing is here. Okay, all this thing is here. I do not want to. I'm not going to explain this. Okay, insert function. Here one thing is saying here. Actually, there are two ways of implementing circular queue. Okay, one is using front and rear, which is initialized max minus one. Okay, another, you can use a global counter variable. Global counter variable will signal you how much element is inserted. If counter variable is less than the size of the array, then you can get the signal that queue is not empty. Okay, and in that case, you can insert the new element using rear. That thing is said here, is told here. Okay. When count equal to 0, when no element is present, instead of checking front and rear equal to max minus 1, to check whether circular queue is empty or circular queue is full, instead of that, here different approach using the counter variable count. That counter variable count is a global counter variable. Okay. When count equal to 0, that's mean queue is empty. When count equal to max, that's mean queue is full. Okay, queue is full, and front and rear both will be incremented using this modulo operator, and both will be initialized max minus 1. Okay. For displaying the same thing, when you display, you will start from the front, you will reach up to the rear, and you will increment as per the modulo operation. Okay. So this is the theoretical part of the implementation of the queue. Now I will show you the code for the queue. I will discuss the priority queue next day. Can you see this program code?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this is the simple linear queue, not circular. Okay. Try to understand each and every statement from this program. Okay. First, two header file is there. Then your queue size has defined max 10. Void add queue, small q. Okay, here 3 parameter: int star, int star. Okay, here you will use a global array, not global actually. Inside the main it is declared. You will use one array, and front and rear both are initialized as a -1. But in the theory I have shown you, it is front equal to 0 and rear equal to -1. It's the same thing, because here only one modification you will see. When at least one element will be added, then front will be reset to the 0. Okay, but in the theory slide, I have shown you the front equal to 0 and rear equal to -1. Okay, but here the moment you add the first element, at least one element, then front will be reset to the 0. Okay, but here initialized front and rear both initialized -1. Up to this it is okay. Now system CLS will work as a clear screen. Now add queue function is called, and you are passing the array, because array will hold the queue element. So array base address is passed. Then comma 23 element you want to add, and since your parameter is a pointer, so you are passing the address of the front and you are passing the address of the rear. Okay, as per the signature of the add queue, or as per the prototype of the add queue, okay, you are passing the address of the front, address of the rear. In this way, several times add queue function is called. Okay, 23, 9, 11, minus 10 all called. Now your next thing is check the definition of this function. Okay, so add queue function, when you are going to add, one context should be there, one provision should be there. You have to check whether queue is full or not. Okay, when p rear equal to max minus 1, that's mean queue equal to full. Okay, you cannot enter further elements. Okay, otherwise rear equal to plus plus. So what I told you in the theory, every time when you insert new element, queue rear will be updated first, then one room for the new element to hold the new element will be created and you will assign item there. But in case of deletion, you will take that item which you want to delete and then modify the front. So here your first time will be called queue, add queue, then rear is updated, star within bracket star p rear plus plus. When rear was initialized -1, now rear will become to 0. Okay, in the 0th location in the array, third bracket p rear equal to item. And the 0th location at the first calling of the add queue function, the first element is added. Now, in this case, the if block, if star font p font equal to -1, star pre font equal to 0. So when at least one time this add queue function is called, pre font initialize, which was initialized as a -1, will be reset to the 0. Then you are ready to delete the new elements. When at least one element will be added, then you are ready to delete the elements. Because after adding one element, you can delete it. If you do not reset the pre-font equal to -1 to 0, then you cannot access the -1 location. Okay, is this clear? Is this definition clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now here, init del q. Okay, init del q here, when you want to delete, you have to check whether queue is empty or not. Okay, so deletion will be done using the front end. So front end font parameter, if it is equal to -1, because queue is initialized, pre-front equal to -1 and p rear equal to -1. So if this situation persists, then you cannot delete. That means queue is empty. Okay. Otherwise, the data is taken from the pre-front, air third bracket star pre-front, data is taken, then and you are assigning there 0. It is just a marking. And a deleted position will hold the 0 value. It's just the marking. You can mark different. You can assign 999. You can assign 499999, or largest value you can assign there as per the data type. Okay. And then within the if block, if at least one element is present in the queue, then star pre-font equal to star pre-rear. This condition will satisfy. And when at least one element is present, when only one element is present, then star pre-font equal to star pre-rear. This condition will satisfy. And this element, since you are deleting this element, that means pre-font and pre-rear again initialize to the -1. If more than one element is present, that means you are deleting from the front end. So element is already taken in the data variable. So you are updating the star prefund plus plus in data. Okay. Now is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Now give me some time to show you the circular queue. Circular queue. Yeah. Here, the similar kind of structure variable, structure data array variable we will use. Front and rear. Similar to function prototype add queue and del queue. Okay, similar kind of parameter is passing through the add queue and del queue. Okay. Now directly I am going to the definition of the circular queue add function, add queue function. So when p rear equal to max minus 1 and pre front equal to 0, or p rear plus 1 equal to pre front, when this condition is satisfied, then its queue is full. Front and rear both initialized to -1. Front and rear both initialized to -1. When at least one element will be added, when at least one element will be added, okay, then in the add queue function, first if block will not be executed. Okay, first p block will not be executed. The second if block will be executed. Will not be executed because only one element you are adding. So second if block will not be executed. Okay, so else part will be executed. Okay, p rear plus star p rear plus this will be executed, and in this location you are assigning the item, and when first element first time this add queue function is called, just like the previous linear queue, you are updating the front, and you are ready when first element is added, you are ready to delete that element. You can delete, you cannot delete. That is different thing. When first time element is added, you are updating the front. Why it is needed? Because front was initialized to -1, rear also initialized to -1. Now, one critical situation you should imagine when it is circularly covering the whole thing. Circularly covering the whole thing means you have to check it is circularly fielded or not. Mane last location and first location, if both are fielded, you have to check that first location or last location both should be fielded to indicate the queue is full or not. Or another situation which is added with the OR operator, okay, when your rear variable is just one step back of the front variable. Forget about the theory, just imagine two cases. One case when you can say the queue is full. One situation when there is an array, when the last location of that array and first location of that array both are fielded, then one situation may happen that your queue is full. Another situation, first location and last location, you are not checking the first location and last location. You are not checking that. So another case may be, situation may be your front variable just one step ahead of the rear variable, and you are circularly filling the whole array, circularly filling one step, one stage have reached where the rear variable just one step back of the front variable. There, that is one situation when Q is full. That is why in the addQ function, two conditions are written using OR operator. When you are adding using rear variable, when rear equal to max minus 1 and prefront equal to 0, and last array, you have an array, last location occupied, and first location is indicated by the prefront. Okay, this is one scenario. Another scenario, rear is just one step back of the front. So that is why rear plus 1 equal to front. If this condition happen, rear plus 1 equal to front. Are you seeing this? Condition? Star P rear plus 1 equal to front. If this condition happen, then you can say that your circular queue is full. Is this clear to you or not? Is this clear to you?
Sir, please explain again.
You are circularly filling up the queue. Just hypothetically assume that you have an array. Array has size max. Now, as per the C syntax, your last location is max minus 1. Now, suppose one situation, your rear pointer variable is equal to max minus 1 and your front pointer variable is location 0. So what conclusion you can draw? The last location of that array, which is indicated by the rear, is fielded, and first location is indicated by the front. Okay, this is one situation. You can say that array is fielded. When array is fielded, totally fielded, so you cannot enter new elements. Or another situation, another scenario, when front and rear is in between 0th location and max minus 1 location. Front and rear in between 0th location and max minus 1 location. Okay, so when in between 0 and max minus 1 location, that's mean you are circularly filling. So rear, when circularly come back to the first location, front always will ahead of the rear. And you are circularly coming back to the first location. Okay, so rear always will be preceded of the front location. Okay, so that is why rear is circularly coming back to the first location, then another location. Okay, one point of time you will see rear just behind the front, one step behind the front. When a front is indicating the deletion end, and from that front end you can delete. That is different issue. But at that position element is still present, and that is indicated by the front. And your rear, through updation has reached just behind the front. Okay, that's mean queue is full. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Just imagine two hypothetical situations. In one hypothetical situation, your rear variable is the last, indicating the last location, and your front variable is indicating the first location. So when rear indicating the last location and front indicating the last location, is there any free space? Do you think? No empty space left.
Yes.
If your front equal to not zero location, and your rear variable is not max minus 1 location, that's mean front variable and rear variable is in between 0th location and in max minus 1 location. Now in
Yes.
between 0th location and max minus 1 location, where it can belong? Because when circularly you are coming back to the front, when rear variable circularly coming back, then it will coming back from the first location, then it will ahead from one step ahead, and one position you will see that your front rear variable just one step back of the front variable. And that situation, imagine that situation also signal you that your queue is not empty.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is why two condition is appended through OR operator. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and rest of the three if else block, if that condition is not full means what? Is not full means what? Is not full means p rear not equal to max minus 1. Okay, then p rear plus 1, you making the space and you are assigning that element. When at least one element will be added, then p font equal to minus 1 will reset to the p font equal to 0, and you are assigning the new element. Okay, now delete queue functions. This is actually a little bit tricky than the normal implementation. In the delete queue function, when no element will be present, then you cannot delete, and when no element will be present, then your deletion end is handled by the prefont variable. That is why first if block is checking the star prefont equal to minus 1 equal to minus 1 when this block of code is written, because when at least one element will be added, then in the add function prefont reset to the 0. Just remember that thing. But if at least one element is not added, that means there is no element. When at least one element is not there, that means you have added only one element. In that case, you have updated the prefont. Okay, when at least one element will not be present, that means star prefont equal to minus 1. That means your queue is empty. You cannot delete any elements. If this block of code is not executed, that means queue is not empty. You can delete from the front end. So that is why element is taken first in the data equal to r third bracket star prefont element is taken. And what I told you, when element will be taken in the data variable, you just for keeping the mark, you are just assigning 0 here. You can assign here any larger value, 999 or 49. Okay, another if block, when you are deleting, when prefont equal to p rear, it is actually circular in nature. Only one element is present. Only one element is not the first situated in the last location or first location. It may be anywhere. In that case, front and rear will be the same. When at least one element will be present, it may be anywhere. Just the circular queue. Imagine the circular array. There only one element is present. Only one element is present means front and rear both are equal. When front and rear both are equal, then because you have called it this function for the purpose of deletion, so that is why front and rear is initialized to minus 1. Okay, and you have previous step data equal to r. You have already taken that element in the data. Now you are just changing the prefont and p rear variable to minus 1. Or otherwise, when more than one element present, then else block will be executed. When more than one element will be present, when only one element will be present, that means prefont equal to p rear. This if block will be executed. When more than one element will be present, then else block of code will be executed. Okay, else block of code, within the else there is a if else. Okay, if prefont equal to max minus 1, you have deleting the last location, then you have to come back to the first location for further deletion in the next delete call function calling. Otherwise, else part within the else block will be executed. Now is this clear to you or not? If you do not understand any block of code, just tell me. Take your time. Is this okay?
Okay, sir.
Try to understand each and every block of code. Why this condition, you can ask me. This is a circular queue implementation. Now, if you want to display it, just navigate from the first location of the array to the last location. So starting from the I equal to 0, I less than max, I plus plus, you are just navigating the array and you are printing, that's mean display function. This is a circular queue implementation. So today what I have explained to you the theory of the queue and circular queue, and I have presented you the implementation of the linear queue and implementation of the circular queue. Okay. If you have any question, I will end here. Today I will end here. If you have any question, you can ask me. Or anyone, if you do not understand any concept that I have presented in previous class or earlier, if you have any problem, okay, you feel free to ask me. You can personally call me.
Sir, when will we use queue? No sound.